Welcome to this screencast. We are looking at organizational structure and communication. Here is a document from Edexcel themselves that I've downloaded for this screencast. And we've got an example of a organizational structure with loads of management layers between the top and the bottom of this organization. In such an organization, when senior management will want to communicate instructions, communicate the goal and objectives of a company to the frontline employees, because of all these layers in between, that's going to introduce a delay. Consequently, the message may be much more formalized to ensure it does not get distorted as it's traveling down the structure. Also, think in terms of what are the chances of feedback from the frontline employees, such a message making its way back up to the top, so that senior management can make informed decisions. Be aware that in the type of example questions provided by Edexcel themselves, they want you to be able to identify barriers to communication, which is one of the tasks I've set for you today. So communication is the passing of information from one person to another, and one of its purpose is to make sure that all the employees are working towards the same goals. Here we're on BBC Brightspace, and then this image illustrating different issues with communication. I don't get the impression all these employees are working towards the same goals. I don't get the impression that they will be working towards fulfilling the organization's aims and objectives. So what we see here is that communication is providing and collecting information in the form of this data stream going onto the computers. It's also to give instructions to employees. But we seem to have problem of insufficient communication. The person on the left there, they don't seem to be well informed, and they might even be demotivated as a consequence. And excessive communication, the person who's hiding from that excessive workload, they get to a point where, because they received so many messages, they're unable to actually get the work done. They spend all their time processing the messages themselves. And barriers to communication, which is something you need to know about, this is anything that will prevent the flow of information within the organization. I've chosen an example for you to work on in today's lesson, and I've chosen Aldi because whenever you go into one of his shops, and I believe Lidl will do just the same, you can see effective communication in action as you are shopping, because all the employees are wearing this earpiece and they are constantly communicating with one another, which makes for an organization that's very reactive in order to solve any problem as it happens on the shop floor. If there's a sudden long queue of people waiting for the till, someone will stop working, there'll be a message, and they'll go and they'll open another till, operate it for 5-10 minutes until the queue is gone. So this is a rare example where you can see effective communication in action without being an employee of this organization. One thing that's important to notice here is that I chose this page because there's a clear picture, and that's from Aldi's own website, so I assume I can use it for this video. But that person there is meant to be an area manager, so someone who is above the level of store manager. And you can see that person being shown to be on the shop floor, working with the store managers, working with the store employees, just going about the business of selling stuff and getting customers to be happy to come and to leave the shop quite quickly, which is one of the way they operate. If you look at their recruitment page for store careers, you have two managers, and they are the only ones who actually get a salary in the job description. And then the other type of store workers, store assistant, stock assistant, and even this one, they get an hourly rate, and they're all around £10 an hour. So that makes for a very flat type of organization. And a flat type of organization will have very short channel of communication, and as we've seen with their headphones, very reactive to anything that's happening. Contrast that with a similar page from Tesco, where you will find that there's many different types of store managers, and these will be at different level. So you've got a shift leader, you've got a team manager, and then you've got store manager. So 3 different level within the hierarchy. And I'm not talking about the people who will be operating different part of the shop, the cafe, the pharmacy. Now, when you have an organization like this one, and Tesco is a much bigger shop with loads of different mini shops inside it. So if someone is qualified to work in the pharmacy, would that make them qualified to work on the cheese counter or the meat counter? Probably not. So it's not always possible to operate a flat organization in case of something that's much bigger, such as this one. So you should be able to find pros and cons and justifications for both type, as always, in your GCSE in business. So I've set some online tasks for you to do using the examples of Aldi or Tesco if you prefer, and I look forward to reading your answers.